Hello everyone, this is Bill Stevens with the Music Educator. Today we're going to learn about the power of reading sheet music. Unlock a world of musical expression and understanding by mastering the art of reading sheet music. Discover the transformative power of this essential skill. Now ask yourself, why should I learn to read music? Well, first, you're going to unlock musical mastery. By doing this, you gain the ability to understand and interpret musical scores. You'll enhance your musicality. You can develop a deeper connection to the music you play and sing. You can expand your musical horizons. Explore a vast repertoire of sheet music across all genres. And ultimately, improve your coordination. You train your brain and body to work in harmony. Now, let's talk about overcoming the myth of musical talent. Now, contrary to popular belief, musical talent is not an innate gift bestowed upon a few chosen. With dedication and the right approach, anyone can develop musical skills and unlock the joy of reading music. Explore the science behind how the brain can be trained to read and interpret musical notation, breaking down the misconception that music is reserved for the naturally gifted. Remember, if you keep it simple, you will learn. Let's begin with the fundamental building blocks of music, music notation. Unlock the magic of music through its foundational elements. Let's begin with number 1. Familiarize yourself with the staff. This is the canvas for music notation. Number 2. Understand the clefs, the vital clefs that unlock the musical language. For instance, if you're playing an instrument that's high, typically you're going to use what's called a treble clef, whereas low instruments would use a bass clef. Number 3. Grasp notes, the building blocks that convey pitch and duration, or how long a note is. Number 4. Explore accidentals. These are the sharps, flats, and naturals that add musical richness. These often tell you to raise a note up a half step, down a half step, or keep the note just as is. And finally, number 5, unravel the mysteries of time signatures. And these are the heartbeat of the music. Hey everyone, this is Bill Stevens. And before we get too far in the video, I want to introduce some of the real basic aspects of this presentation. So we just kind of covered some of the fundamental ideas, but we haven't really applied anything yet. So let's actually take a look at this aspect. So we talked about some of the basic aspects of music notation, which, by the way, if you don't know what music notation means, it means written music or something of visual notation where you can interpret what's on the page and play it. So first, let's talk about the staff. Now the staff are these 5 lines. You notice I have 2 different staves, meaning 2 groupings of these 5 lines, and they're separated. We're actually using a piano staff, which is called a grand staff. And before we talked about a treble clef. A treble clef looks like this. And this is also called the G clef. Now, one reason that this is also called the G clef is that it circles around the second line, which is our G. And we'll talk more about that a little bit later. But it circles around the second line, which is the G. And then the bass clef is the lower instruments. So you have treble clef, the higher pitches. The lower pitches are the bass clef. And it has another name. It's also called the F clef. And this line that has these 2 dots that circle around it, that is the F line. So you have the G clef, which is also treble, and you have the bass clef, which is also the F clef. So next, we have what's called a time signature, okay? And these are 2 numbers above each other. Now, if you're playing piano, typically your time signature is going to be the same in the beginning, right after the clefs. And what this means is this top number means how many and what gets the beat. So how many what? How many beats are in a measure? 4. And what gets the beat? Well, we haven't actually even learned that part yet. So we're going to even keep this even more simple. By the way, if you're looking at this is a program called NoteFlight. It is relatively inexpensive, it is cloud-based, and it is great for writing music. So I'm going to teach you real quick. The beat, we talked about how many, so we have 4 beats, and the quarter note gets the beat because 4 equals that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to just make 4 quarter notes in this chunk of time. Now you notice there's this line here. This is called a bar line, and it creates little sections of music called measures, and that's one way we organize our time. So since the quarter note gets the beat, we'll have 4 quarter notes in a measure, or we could have different type of notes, but they will equal out 4 beats worth. Think of it almost like heartbeats. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a quarter note. Then, if we want to say we want to do 2 notes or 2 beats within 1 note, well, we have what's called a half note. That's this open circle with a stem. Okay, so quarter notes get 1 beat each. Half note gets 2. Okay, so let's just kind of listen to that real quick. So it's pretty standard, it's pretty simple, and all of this still equals 4 in a measure. Now say I wanted to create all 4 beats in 1 note. Then I have what's called a whole note. So a whole note gets 4 counts. And it says sustained for 1, 2, 3, 4 counts. Sounds like this. If you can imagine, let's do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how long it lasts. So both the bass clef and the treble clef can have different notes. They can have same notes, but each measure, each one of these guys has to equal out 4. Okay, 4 beats or rest. So you have notes which make sound for a certain length of time, which is called the duration, and you have rests. For instance, if these are 2 beats, well, if I have 4 counts total, 4 minus 2 leaves 2 beats left, right? And I could have what's called musical silence or rest. So this is called a half rest. And we'll talk more about this a little later. Let's go back to the presentation.
Decoding the treble and bass clefs. The treble clef, also known as the G clef, identifies notes played in the higher registers. The bass clef, or F clef, represents lower pitch range. An example is to the right. Understanding the placement of these 2 essential clefs is the key to accurately reading sheet music from the piano, guitar, or any instrument. Mastering the visual patterns of the treble and bass clefs unlocks the language of music notation and allows you to confidently navigate the full musical spectrum. Understanding rhythm and timing. Timing. First, note values. We're going to learn to interpret note durations on the staff, meaning how long a note is. 2, we're going to focus on steady beat, developing a feel for constant and consistent pulse and tempo. And number 3, we're going to learn about time signatures, understand how to interpret meter and rhythm. Mastering pitch and intervals. Understand pitch. Recognize how high or low a note sounds. We need to identify. This is done by distinguishing the distance between 2 notes. We need to develop our ear training. Train your ear to recognize pitch and intervals. And we need to recognize melodic patterns. So recognize common pitch sequences in music.
To also help build up our foundation, we're going to reinforce some of the concepts that we already talked about, but also add in the concept of pitch. So, first, we are on a website called musictheory.net. Has lots of lessons, lots of exercises. It's completely free. I would highly recommend you check it out. So first, as we had before, we have the 5 lines of music. It's called a staff. As we go on, we have 5 lines and 4 spaces. Each of them will have different locations for notes to be on. Every line or space on the staff represents a white key on the keyboard. clefs are assigned that we talked about, the treble clef and the bass clef, as well as their secondary names, for instance, G clef for the treble and the F clef for the bass. First, let's talk about the G clef. So we talked about how the second line identifies as G. From there, the musical alphabet starts over. So the musical alphabet is from A to G and then repeats itself if it's going up. And after A, we have B, and the process continues. What happens if we get at the top of the staff? Well, to solve our dilemma, we use what's called ledger lines. And ledger lines help extend the staff. So now we have an A at the top. Now we're going to talk about the bass clef, which is also the F clef. The staff line in between the two dots of the clef is F. Now we can just fill it out like we did before. Notice when we go in a downwards motion, the notes go in the opposite direction of the alphabet. As you were shown before, we have the grand staff, which consists of both the treble staff and the bass clef staff. And in the middle, we have what's called middle C. It's a ledger line, one ledger line below the treble clef, and one ledger line above the bass clef staff. And we call this middle C. This can be found in the middle of the grand staff and the piano. Let's go back to our presentation.
Next, we're going to explore key signatures and accidentals. Key signatures discover the role of key signatures and establish an actual tonal center. Accidentals understand how sharps, flats, and naturals modify a pitch, whether it's up, down, or stays the same. The circle of fifths and the circle of fours. Explore the powerful tool for understanding key relationships. And finally, modulation. Learn to navigate key changes and transitions with ease. Sight reading strategies for beginners. First, listen actively. Tune into the melodic and rhythmic patterns. 2. Identify patterns. Recognize common musical shapes and structures. 3. Chunk the music. Break the score into manageable sections. And 4. Anticipate changes. Scan ahead to prepare for key shifts. Sight reading is a crucial skill for beginners to develop. By listening actively, identifying patterns, chunking music, and anticipating changes, you can train your brain to quickly comprehend and interpret a written score. These strategies will help you become a more confident and fluent music readers. Later in this video, we'll talk about different acronyms you can use to sight read on a more consistent basis. Applying music theory to real-life examples. Explore how music theory principles apply in popular songs, movie soundtracks, and everyday musical experiences. Discover the hidden structures that bring music to life and enhance your appreciation of the art form. Chord progressions. Examine the use of 1, 4, 5, and other common chord progressions in contemporary music. Rhythm and meter. Analyze the rhythmic patterns and time signatures in folk, rock, and jazz genres. Melody and harmony. Identify melodic motifs and harmonic innovations in classical, film, and video game scores. Musical form. Explore the application of binary, ternary, and other forms in musical compositions. The importance of ear training. 1. Developing pitch perception. This allows you to identify notes and chords by ear. 2. Improving rhythm skills. Recognize rhythmic patterns and feel the beat. And 3. Enhancing musical memory. Recall melodies and chord progressions. Developing oral skills through exercises. Oral skills Just in case if you don't know what oral skills, these are listening skills. Number 1, rhythmic dictation. Transcribe rhythmic patterns by ear. Number 2, melodic identification. Recognize and reproduce melodies. Number 3, interval training. Distinguish between musical intervals or distance between notes. Strengthening your oral skills is essential for developing a deeper understanding of music. Through a variety of ear training exercises, you'll learn to recognize rhythmic patterns, identify melodies, and discern different musical intervals. These foundational skills will enhance your ability to sight read, improvise, and truly engage with the music you play. Unlocking the language of dynamics and articulation. Dynamics. Explore the expressive power of volume levels from whispers to thunderous roars with dynamics. Articulation. Uncover the nuanced language of note lengths, attacks, and releases. Expressive interpretation. Breathe life into the score by mastering dynamic and articulation markings. Decoding the notation. Learn to decipher the symbols that convey the composer's expressive intent. Navigating time signatures in meter. 4/4 common time is the most common time signature in music. 12/8 compound time or complex time. These are time signatures with a top number divisible by 3. 2/4, which is an example of simple time, these are time signatures with a top number divisible by 2. Understanding time signatures in meter is crucial for reading and interpreting music notation. Time signatures indicate the number of beats per measure and the value of each beat. Mastering the distinctions between simple and compound time signatures will enable you to accurately keep the rhythm and feel the pulse of the music. Improvising and composing with music notation. And by the way, if you don't know what music notation actually means, it's music that's written down or communicated in some way where you can see it. First, unlock creativity. Notation enables free-form musical expression. Experiment with motifs. Develop and combine musical ideas on the page. Translate ideas to instruments. Notate compositions to share with musicians. And refine and iterate. Notation allows for easy editing and revision. Applying reading music skills to various instruments. Now, mastering music notation unlocks the ability to play a diverse range of instruments, from piano and guitar to orchestral, woodwind, and brass instruments. Understand how clefs, key signatures, and these rhythmic patterns translate across the different instruments. Develop versatility by applying your reading skills to wind, string, and percussion instruments, as well as vocal. Integrating reading music into your daily practice. Make reading music a seamless part of your daily musical routine. Unlock new levels of musicality and progress by consistently incorporating reading music notation into your practice routine. Troubleshooting common challenges in music notation. Decoding note values and accurately interpreting rhythmic patterns. Mastering key signatures and accidental placement to maintain proper pitch. Overcoming the fear of sight reading and developing confidence in reading music. Identifying and resolving common notation errors or inconsistencies. Developing strategies to stay focused and maintain concentration while reading music. Leveraging technology to enhance music reading. Digital sheet music. Access sheet music instantly on any device. Metronome apps. Improve rhythm and timing with virtual metronomes. Notation software. Compose, arrange, and transpose music with ease. Music learning apps. interactive apps, and exercises to master music reading. Incorporating reading music into music education. First, foundational skills. Build music notation literacy from an early age. Second, integrated approach. Blend reading music with instrument training and music theory. Third, personalized learning. Tailor instruction to students' individual learning styles and goals. The joy of reading and playing music. Unleash your musical potential. Discover the profound satisfaction of deciphering musical notation and bringing it to life through performance. Unlock the language of music. Reading music empowers you to communicate and express yourself through the universal language of sound. Embark on a lifelong journey. Mastering music reading skills opens the door to a lifetime of musical exploration and growth. Connect with the musical community. Share your love of music and collaborate with others who speak the same notational language. Building a lifelong love for music through notation. Unlock creative expression. Unleash your musical ideas through notation. Deepen musical understanding. Gain profound insights into the structure and language of music. Connect with musical traditions. Tap into a rich legacy of music notation and heritage. And enjoy lifelong learning. Continuously explore and grow your musical skills and knowledge. Connecting with the musical community. Building lasting connections. Network with fellow musicians. Share ideas and collaborate on projects. Jam sessions and performances. Showcase your talents and learn from others in a supportive environment. Educational opportunities. Attend workshops, masterclasses, and courses to continuously improve your skills. Attend community events. Participate in music festivals, recitals, and other community-driven activities. Advancing your skills, resources, and next steps. Discover online lessons, tutorials, and workshops to deepen your music reading skills. Explore sheet music databases and libraries to find diverse repertoire. Connect with local music communities and find mentors to guide your progress. Check these out through online courses, sheet music libraries, in-person workshops, comprehensive video lessons, curated classical collections, personalized feedback, interactive exercises, jazz and contemporary music, and networking opportunities. The transformative power of reading music. 1. Unlocks musical potential. Reading music empowers personal growth and expression. 2. Deepens musical understanding. Connects theory to practice for richer musical experiences. And 3. Fosters lifelong learning. Cultivates a deep appreciation for the art of music. Inspiring stories of successful music readers. Andre Rieu, world-renowned violinist and conductor. Alison Balsam, virtuoso trumpet player and Grammy nominee. Lang Lang, acclaimed classical pianist and UNICEF ambassador. From prodigies to late bloomers, these musicians' journeys demonstrate the power of reading music. By mastering this skill, they have captivated audiences worldwide and inspired countless others to follow in their footsteps. Debunking myths and misconceptions about music notation. Myth: reading music is only for prodigies. Anyone can learn this valuable skill with practice. Misconception: music notation is too complex. With the right guidance, it becomes intuitive. Myth: reading music limits creativity. It actually enhances your musical expression. Many people believe that reading music notation is an innate talent reserved only for the gifted. However, this is a common misconception. With dedication and the right teaching methods, anyone can learn to read music effectively and unlock a world of musical possibilities. The future of music education and reading music. Integrating technology. Leveraging digital tools for interactive music notation. Personalized learning. Adaptive lessons catered to individual skill levels. Collaborative platforms. Online communities connect music students globally. Immersive experiences. AR/VR simulations to bring music theory to life. Discover how mastering the art of reading music can open up a world of endless musical possibilities and a lifelong passion for the art. With that said, I would like to thank everybody for checking out this video. If you found something of value within this video, please feel free to like and subscribe. It means the world to us. Thanks. Hey everyone, I almost forgot. You probably want to practice sight reading. So there are two websites I want to go ahead and have you check out. First is the Rhythm Randomizer, and it's great, especially if you're a beginner or even an established musician. It is completely free. You just go to rhythmrandomizer.com, and it looks kind of something like this. It's kind of simple, but you can change different rhythmic values, and it's rhythm based. So for instance, we have this rhythm right here. You can use a metronome, and you can actually play it back too. Stop the metronome and press playback. And all you have to do is press this button right here that says new rhythm, and it'll come up with new rhythms. And you just practice clapping that, tapping this, whatever you got to do. Make it harder and harder. Just go to these settings over here on the right, the left. And you could do all kinds, even to the harder syncopated combinations. Now, if you want something a little more realistic with the actual pitches, there's the program, and many directors know about this now. It's called Sight Reading Factory. And it is a great program, great for large ensembles, but you can also do it for small ensembles and or individuals. And it will do any instrument. And say I wanted to play piano. So I click piano, and it has these pre-made levels. Now, they used to only have 6. Now they've even included a half grade, which is fantastic for your beginners. Okay, so say I chose that. And then I could do whatever sight reading meter I wanted. I'm just going to put a random sight reading, and you can choose the key. I'm just going to keep it the key of C. And there's 2 main ways to do this. One is free play, where it pops up on the screen, just like this. And then you can play it kind of like Rhythm Randomizer. For instance, I press the play button at the top. Okay, so you have that option. And then there's the challenge, where it actually counts you down. You have a certain number of seconds. You can have disappearing measures on, keep the metronome on. And I gave us 15 seconds. And then you play with it. Well, actually, you don't play with it unless you have the metronome on or the sound on. Let's find out what we did. I'm not sure. Okay, so it has disappearing measures. It's a grade half. Okay, and what it does is it gives you a countdown, and then it does another one. And very similarly to Rhythm Randomizer, you can change the settings and change the tempo, all kinds of fun stuff. So great practice. Definitely recommend it. And there, I don't want to say that this is the only thing, but these are 2 great sight reading activities and programs that you can use on a regular basis. Sight Reading Factory does have a fee, but it's very, very realistic and reasonable. And Rhythm Randomizer does not. It's completely free. So other programs such as Smart Music or Make Music Now also have these capabilities. All right. Thanks for watching the video, everyone. Hope you have a great day. See ya.